beautifully disgusting.
Absolutely.
And it gets worse and worse by the day, by the hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, have you seen, I mean, I guess you haven't seen the third floor bathroom.
Oh, no, I have. I know what every single bathroom looks like. They get progressively worse. But there is a few that whenever my friends that like maybe don't come here as often as I do, it's like, I need to pee. I'm like, I got you. We're going to go to the cleaner one. They're like, this isn't clean. I'm like, no. It's clean compared to the one right around the corner. Because that one's disgusting.
Yeah.
So.
They are very bad. Now we kind of just go across the street to Life Science and use
That's smart. Look at you.
Which is, it stinks because we have to walk, like, go to a different building.
But
it's better than
here.
Yeah,
100%.
Now there's a trash pile because everyone's leaving, which is sad.
Yeah.
And everyone's just throwing their shit in the bathroom, and they're like, well, I'm not going to be here to clean. Yeah. So we're going to have to figure that out. Yeah, you guys should just hire someone at this point. Yeah, we should. But then they come in. We actually have like cleaning ladies that come in and they just make fun of us and don't clean anything. Oh, okay. They're like, this is so disgusting. And then they leave. Oh, dope. Okay. And we give them money. That's I mean, if I was a cleaning lady, I'd probably do that too. Yeah. Have you ever lived in your house before? I have. I actually lived in my sorority house junior year, so last year. And it was like the best time ever. But we definitely ran into the same issues where like, because we did have a cleaning lady. Her name was Anisha. She was the absolute best. But we did run into issues where like things still weren't being like picked up or cleaned, and it like we had like a trash schedule. So like on the weekends when we didn't have like the chefs in the house or like Anisha, people were on rotation like trying to take out the trash, but it would just get piled up and like no one would take it out and it would cause a conflict. Like, and in the group me, there was like all these like passive aggressive messages. And let me tell you something. As gross as guys are, girls are 10 times worse. Yeah. So much worse, bro. I never had any sisters, so I've never really had to deal with that. Do you have siblings? Yeah, I have one brother. Older or younger? Older. He's 24. Yeah, my older sister, I only have an older sister too. She's 24. Yeah. So, yeah, being the youngest, it was definitely kind of weird. Just because, like, especially, like, living in the house, like, I'm kind of used to, like, being, like, the baby of the family. And then it was kind of, like, a little bit of a shock. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm a clean freak. Like, I'm very much a germaphobe. So, like, being in the apartment is, like, nice now, like, senior year because, like... Where do you live now? I live in UA. Okay. I don't think I've been there before. Do you know the apartment building that kind of looks like a jail? It's right behind Harry's, and it has, like, red awnings. No. Have you ever been to Harry's? Oh, you've probably never been to Harry's. I've been once. Do you know where, like, the corner store is? Yeah. You know that gray building? Okay. Yeah. People live there? Yes, I live there. Okay. So, fun fact, it actually used to be a nursing home. South Cross used to own it. Yeah. Can I get my bag? Yeah. You could just talk if you want. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you about the nursing home. So, it's open? My apartment building actually used to be a nursing home. It used to be owned by South Cross. I don't know what happened to it, but I did. Can you shut the door? Yeah. Thank you. And so it used to be owned by them. And it's haunted. And I know it's haunted because me and my roommates have all experienced, like, weird shit going on. And, like, if you look at it and, like, you've never been in it before, so you wouldn't really understand. But for those, like, who have been in there, the layout is so fucking weird. Like, my apartment has, like, weird, like, windy hallways. We have 2 doors. Like, it's so fucking weird. We've heard, like, things banging in the middle of the night when no one's up. Okay. No one's up. Like, the dishwasher's not on. We have my washer and dryer's, like, in the unit. It's not on. Things are banging. One night, I had a really bad migraine. And I could have been hallucinating because I didn't sleep. But I swear it was the ghost that kind of just, like, is around our hallway. So I got up. I went to go make some boiling water and put, like, a mapina in it. Like a... Is it tea? A towel. A little towel, sorry. And so to put it on my head, because nothing else was working. And it was like 5:30 in the morning, and all of a sudden, from my front door, because I'm, like, at the stove, there's, like, whistling, right? Like... Yeah. And I'm like, oh, fuck that. And, like, that's so strange. No, it was so strange. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going up the door because I've seen horror movies, and I'm not the one to die. So I'm going to ignore it.
keep boiling my water, and I'm gonna go back to bed and hope to God that I fall asleep. And then so that was that.
That seems kind of terrifying. So do you believe in like supernatural ghost stuff?
Oh my God, 100%. If anyone knows me well enough, knows that I 100% believe in supernatural. I have also like personally experienced like weird shit in my house at home. I'm from Stanford. I'm from the same hometown as Devin and Aton.
Mm-hmm.
So at my house at home, I've experienced weird shit. Other places I've experienced weird shit. Like there's actually like 2 people have died in my home.
What?
I'll get to that. So yeah, I'm gonna elaborate. Okay. So one of them was my grandfather. He was terminally ill, so we were taking care of him. But like he's chill. Like Stefano's fine.
He's not trying to haunt.
Nah, Stefano's not chill.
Yeah.
But before my parents bought our house, it was like it was a house that was going to foreclosure, and the lady who lived in it was like a hoarder, and like various like homeless people were like in and out. And one guy actually died in my house. From what I've heard, from the limited things my family has told me, I think he committed suicide.
Ooh.
Which is like, nah, that's not chill, right?
Yeah, no.
My dad has experienced like weird shit in my house too.
Like what happens?
So, when my dad's like very handy. So when he was like repainting and doing things when, they were first moving in, my parents. It was like midnight, he had like a radio on, so it was like late 90s, whatever. And all of a sudden like the radio was like started being weird, like turning off, turning on, like switching stations. And my dad didn't have it on one station, like it was a radio, like a CD player. So he had like a CD going or whatever. And all of a sudden like he felt, and it sounds so cliche, but like it was so freaky. He was like, I felt very cold, but it was like the summer, so like that didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And he felt like someone was like suffocating him. And then he was like, okay, this is weird. He knew someone had died. So my dad was like, I'll leave. And then it was just like, okay, fine. And then my dad literally packed up and went to wherever my parents were living before they moved in. Personally, I have seen things and heard things in my house. So like when I was like, I don't know, 11, there was like, I have seen like figures in my bedroom. One of them, I can like still see it, like imagine it. It was like a man who had no face. Like he had a face, but like nothing, no eyes, he had no features. Orange spiky hair and a black shirt.
Orange spiky hair, interesting.
It was weird, right? I was like,
you know what?
Yeah, I don't know.
What was the second part after the orange?
He had a black shirt on.
Okay, like t-shirt?
T-shirt, and he was just like standing by my bed. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then I saw a woman standing over my bed. Years later, I thought it was my mom because my mom has like very dark features like me. And then the lady had really dark features. So I was like, why is my mom sitting over me? And then, lo and behold, it actually wasn't my mom. So then I like tried to like scream for help, but like no words would come out. It was like really fucking weird. And then years after that, I saw the shadow of the original man that I saw, like the first thing I seen. Running up my basement stairs. And I was like, that's enough. I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go up. It's terrifying. I've been home alone before and like I've heard like voices, like I'm in my room but like downstairs. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think anyone was home. Like my mom and my sister are home. Did they leave the TV on? Nothing's on. I'm like, that's nice. That's great. So yeah, I've definitely have seen and like dealt with like a lot of supernatural things. Like I think I have a sixth sense. People who are listening to this are gonna be like, no, it's just Dina, she's just fucking crazy, which like is also a valid point. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I believe in supernatural because it's so strange.
Yeah.
I do think we can't discount things just because we can't see it.
Yeah, definitely.
And there is something there because there's so many stories, you know? There really are, and people try to discount them all, but you gotta think there's gotta be at least a few that are not explainable by reality's terms, so.
Exactly.
There's that whole Conjuring story. Do you like horror movies?
God. So, I'm very particular about the horror movies that I watch because I'm a very superstitious person. Mm-hmm. Just because of everything that I've like personally been like, ooh, ghosts. Yeah. I refuse to actually watch the Conjuring movies because the Annabelle doll is in Connecticut.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
It's in their hotel thing. They have the museum. Right?
Yeah, it's a museum. It's actually, I'm pretty sure it's permanently closed now.
Good.
Which should have been done from the beginning.
I don't know why it was a museum.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, the Annabelle doll is actually in Monroe, Connecticut, and that's like, I think, 40 minutes from where I live. And all my friends are like, have you gone? Let's watch The Conjuring. And I refuse to watch it just because it hits a little too close from home. And I know personally, like, so the Annabelle doll is behind this, like, well, it used to be, I don't know if it still is. It's behind this, like, glass box. And you have to stand, like, 10 feet away from it. Like, you cannot get close to it. And, like, there's been, like, accounts of where people have, like, made fun of it or, like, tried to touch it. And then they've, like, died.
Yeah.
Like, within the next few days. Like, crazy shit. So I'm like, no. But in that museum, too, they have, like, other crazy regalia that's supposed to be, like, super cursed, like, demons and shit. So, like, oops. So, like, me personally, I'm gonna stay away.
Yeah.
So, like, Insidious, I love that movie because, like, I think it's, like, good.
Yeah.
I think the series is great. But, like, Conjuring, like, a lot of, like, exorcism movies I won't watch just because it really scares me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because I feel The Conjuring was based off, like, a true story.
True story. It's a true story.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
And I hate horror movies.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't like being scared. Like, I like comedies, like action.
Yeah.
Just character development kind of stories.
I feel that.
So those type of movies were never really my favorite, but it did interest me, the Annabelle doll and just all that lore behind it. Because there's something going on.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. And it wouldn't surprise me because, like, you're Catholic too?
Yeah, I'm Roman Catholic.
Okay, same. So we believe in, there's, like, spirits and stuff.
Yeah. Afterlife.
Yeah. So it doesn't, like, it wouldn't surprise me if some of our energy or our soul kind of just, like, stays here if we can't move on.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't get it. So I'm trying to, like, think about it.
Maybe, like unfinished business?
Yeah, but what are they trying to finish? Like, they don't have bodies anymore, you know?
I don't know. I know there's a story behind why Annabelle is apparently cursed. I just don't know what it is, but I think it was some, like, crazy shit.
Yeah.
Which, like, makes sense.
Fair
enough.
Probably crazy, which,
like, I get it, girl, but, like, you're gonna stay that distance. I'm not bothering you. Like, I don't want it.
There's a mirror, too. Dude.
Yes, it's like that Oculus movie, right?
I don't know if it's a bit in the Oculus movie, but I know it's in that museum. And if you, like, stare into it, you'll, like, die.
You could, like, see...
Dude,
like...
shit. There's someone behind you or something like
yeah,
that.
I know there's, like, been also, like, other people, like, talk about, like, mirrors and shit, like at night. Like, I don't know, like... I personally, like, the way I have my room set up here and at home, I don't like my mirror facing my bed.
Oh, I agree.
Because I'm like, I'm going to see some shit, and it's going to be all over. I'm going to have to throw my whole house away and move. Like, I don't play with, like, all that ghost stuff. So.
That's something you don't want to play around with.
Hell no.
Mirrors are really weird to me.
Mirrors are weird.
I don't get, how does it reflect? Like, really, how do I see back?
I don't know. And the thing about, like mirrors, besides, like, supernatural shit, for me, it kind of gives, and I know, like, I could speak for a lot of people, it kind of gives, like, a distorted view of reality. And I know that sounds, like, kind of crazy to say, but, like, there's one mirror in my apartment room right here that I refuse to look at myself in because it's quote-unquote a fat mirror. And I know that sounds, like, crazy to you because you're like, what the fuck does that even mean? But, like, the way my mirror has been, like, on the wall, it has, like, a curve in it. So it makes me look bigger than I am, and it gives me, like, a really distorted sense of, like, myself. So I refuse to look at myself in that mirror. So I look at myself in my bathroom mirror because it's a real mirror.
Yeah,
and it doesn't lie.
It's not curved.
It's not curved. And that kind of, like, contributes to a lot of different things. I know when I cornered you in the 3rd floor on Saturday, and you were like, what do you have to give me? I was like, blah. Like, I gave you all this stuff, and you're like, okay.
I don't really remember that encounter, to be honest.
So
I was very tired.
Yeah, I was, like, very much delusional. But for those listening who don't know, I have cornered James, like, 3 different times. And I've been, like, probably very intoxicated every single time. I'm like, let me be on your podcast. And he's like, okay. And then on Saturday, I was like, you always say okay, but I've never been on your podcast.
And I was like, this is true.
And you're like, yes, you're a crazy little girl that just runs around in this house. And I was like, that's right, but I know you. And you're like, I don't know your name. And I was like, I'm Dina, like, James. That's weird that I know you don't know me. I feel like a stalker.
It's just because a lot of people, like, ask to be on the podcast.
Yeah,
like, the only way this works is if I want to be here, you know? Like, and I obviously want to talk with everyone.
Yeah.
But it's just my time frame, and it just doesn't always work out. And I do feel bad because I tell people like, they can come on, and I try to stick with my word, and then I kind of got lazy. Now I only record once a week.
Well, I feel special.
I was like, okay, maybe this could be fun. So I'm like,
Is it fun? Are you having fun?
Yeah, I mean, we just started. And so, because I do like seeing other people's perspectives.
Yeah.
And I have been interviewing just a lot of brothers, so it's kind of similar perspectives.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Definitely different. I feel like it's hard too, because like I took my graduation pictures yesterday, actually.
Congrats.
Thank you. And it was like weird. Like my friend Caitlin, right? She said we were taking pictures from like the Syracuse sign in front of all the languages. And she even said, she was like, this doesn't feel real, like we're just playing dress up. And I was like, honestly, you're right, like it hasn't hit me. The only time it really hit me was Saturday morning when I was like absolutely sobbing. Because like delusional, intoxicated, a lot at once, right? But yeah, it was just so weird, and it was kind of like, this doesn't like, yeah, I have my stoles on, and I have my cap on, and I'm dressed up, and like the robe, but I was like, nah, like this isn't real. And like when people are like, it goes by in the blink of an eye, like they're right. It really does. Like I remember moving into Flint, you know, four years ago, and now I'm like here, and like I have a full-time offer after graduation, like which is great. I'm working as a risk analyst in a risk and reinsurance like global company. It's based out of New York City. It's called Guy Carpenter, and it's a subsidiary of Marsh & McLennan. So pretty cool things. Yeah, it's cool. But kind of like going off of that, like, you know, I deal with some things in my personal life, and, you know, having to kind of like have this realization that I'm leaving a place that I feel home. Like, yeah, like Stanford's like where I'm from, but like it doesn't feel like home to me. Like this is where I met my friends that like, it sounds cliche, but like I know I'm gonna keep in touch with. Like I know I'm gonna have like, even like you were talking about like the brothers in your house, right? Like so many brothers here have become family to me. Like besides the fact that like, you know, like Devin's from Stanford and whatnot, but like Ben, right? He was here before. Like Ben's like family. Like so many people, like Loie, like Pat. Like I can't even name them off the top of my head. Like
there's so many.
There is so many, but like one thing that was really special to me, and even kind of why I broke down on like Saturday, is that no matter what I've been through and kind of like have to deal with like in my personal life, like some brothers like no, because I trust them, they're like my best friends, and everyone in this house, no matter what they know or what they don't know, has embraced me. Like people have seen me hit rock bottom, and like you can ask anybody. Like I don't get embarrassed for what I do here anymore, just because like these people have seen me hit rock bottom and like have still embraced me and helped me, and like been like, you know what, like I get it. Like we go through hard shit. Like I don't hold that against you. Like a brother actually, like I was like embracing like someone who was like crying, and I was crying, and like I was like, thank you for everything, blah blah blah, you know, super sentimental. And like one of my brothers said to me, like they were like, Dina, I don't hold anything against you. Like I get it. Like I'm here for you. And that kind of sealed the deal. I was like, this is home. Like even for those who know me, like I don't really go, like I go to other places, right? But like this is where I end up. This is where I start. This is it for me. So like having to kind of close that chapter has been hard.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It is what, I like that, because that's kind of what family is. That's how I look at family. It's not, I know it's blood. People think family's just blood, but nowadays it's people that you care about, people that you can go to, share anything with.
Exactly.
That's what family is, where that love is. And I think we're starting to see that more in our age, because there's not as many nuclear families where it's just mom, dad, 2 kids, and that's that. You have adopted kids or whatever. Families are not as structured as they used to be. And I do like that a lot, because I agree. I really feel like I used to think my high school was my home, and then I came here. I'm like, I've been here I live with 20 of my closest friends.
Yeah. Like, what's better than that?
Nothing. And now I have to go home, and it's home, just back to where I live. It's weird because I feel like the home it's cliche. But these cliches are cliche because they mean something.
Exactly.
And they're said so many times.
Yeah.
But it's home's where the heart is.
Yeah. It's here.
It's here.
Like, it's here.
It really is.
And even, like, I know you're talking about, like, the whole cliche thing. I feel like people think, you know, what we just talked about is cliche because they don't understand or haven't experienced it yet. And, you know, kind of going into this, I was like, oh, like, yeah, home and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, no, like, it's going to be weird leaving. It's definitely going to be weird having to really say goodbye to Syracuse because, like, the person I am today has really been shaped here. And it sucks. And, you know, it's a lot of things that I talk about with my psychologist. I'm pretty open about my mental health, but, you know, a lot of things I talk about with her. And, you know, I feel like a lot of my identity has been here just because, like, this is where I learned. These are my friends. This is my safe haven. And having to kind of go back to a place at home where it's, like, doesn't feel like, you know, I don't have that feeling of, like, this is home. Like, this is where I'm meant to be. It's going to be weird, especially because, like, you have the luxury of coming back here, right?
I do.
I don't. Like, yeah, alumni weekend, like, you guys haven't seen the last of me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be here wreaking havoc as per usual. But it's going to be weird because, like, my life is really going to change. I mean, I'm excited. Like, I am eventually going to move to New York City. That's where my job is. And, like, so, you know, and I know a lot of people there already, so, like, it's going to be, like, fine. But it's kind of having that fear of, like, the unknown. Like, I personally get stuck in, like, the unknowns. And then that gives me, like, a lot of anxiety. Because I'm like, okay, like, what's going to happen? Am I gonna be successful? Am I actually gonna have a good time? Like, what's gonna happen when I leave home? Like, leave here? Like, see, I just differentiated home here.
Yeah.
But, you know, I kind of have to have faith that the friendships I have are strong enough and they will kind of persevere. We're going to South Beach, like I talked to you about before we were setting up. And I think what's really gonna hit me is being in the Miami airport, saying goodbye. Because I'll be going back to New York with some of my friends, but like Taya, for example, like if you know me, you know Taya, vice versa. That's just how it is, done deal. But, you know, she's going back to Virginia, and I don't really know the next time I'm going to see her after that, you know? Like, obviously we're going to visit each other, but we have our own lives. Like, I'm also traveling during the summer. She is going on vacation with Loey and his family, and like, you know, so it's going to be kind of weird. And, you know, I've talked a lot about a few things with my psychologist and, you know, kind of feeling like I have like weird, like, okay, so for people who know me, I'm pretty open about my mental health and the things that I struggle with. I've obviously never said it on a podcast before.
Fair.
Which is like fair. But, you know, I have really weird abandonment issues. And that stems from quite a few different things, and it, you know, also stems from my diagnosis. And so having to kind of talk with myself and talk with my psychologist, being like, no one's abandoning me. Like, I'm not being left behind. It's more of like a growing experience. Like, this is one of the changes in your life that things are gonna come with, and like, you have to find healthy ways to cope. And like, you don't need to have a diagnosis or a mental health disorder to feel these things. Like, I feel like everyone everyone feels it, but like, that's just something I've had to work through recently, and like, so it's definitely gonna be weird.
Yeah, but I think it is important to, there's this cool show I like, it's called The Midnight Gospel. Mm-hmm. It's a podcast animated over, and in the last episode, he's talking with his mom that is diagnosed with cancer, and it's the last time he talked with her. Yeah. And it's on the podcast. Which
is crazy.
Right?
It's crazy.
So, and what she was saying, he's like, how am I supposed to let go of you? You know, I love you so much. It's going to hurt so much.
Yeah.
And her response was, that's beautiful. That, because that pain is there, it shows how much she meant to him.
Yeah.
And you leaving this school, how much the school and the people meant to you. So that's something we need to be grateful for.
Definitely.
Because we do move on. We all live our lives. Stuff changes. And change sucks. Like, anxiety literally stems from the unknown.
I don't do well with change. I don't.
No, but we gotta look at it like, I like to look at it like an ocean, and we could either be crushed by the waves of change, or we can learn how to ride.
Yeah.
You know, it does suck when a big tsunami comes and wrecks your boat.
Yeah.
But if you can recognize that these waves are gonna come, and as you get older, you see them, and you're like, okay, this is a trigger. This is what's gonna happen here. Let me be prepared for this, so I at least know what's coming.
Yeah. I
know it's gonna pass, and I know it's gonna be better, because our change is our biggest times for growth.
Mm-hmm.
And because nothing in your life, you're not gonna grow if you're just stagnant and everything is perfect.
Yeah.
That's no fun. I don't find that fun. I hate change, but the best times in my life came from struggle.
Yeah.
And I like the metaphor as a tree. Because a tree is not going to grow without the rain.
Exactly.
You need the struggle to bring you forward. And as long as you can recognize that it is fleeting, it's passing, you can get through it. Because I've had a lot of people in my life not recognize that these problems that we have are not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And they just took the easy way out, which sucks, but it's just something that we can't do, because it's every problem. We're Catholic. My mom always says, God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. Mm-hmm. And that stays very true to me.
Yeah.
That sticks.
I'll give you snaps.
Yeah, thank God. Because it is true. I really feel like anything that's thrown at us, there's a way to do it or get around it.
Yeah.
And it's just every answer has a problem. All my thinking kind of revolves around this thing.
Yeah.
I think everything can be solved. It may be hard to do it, but you can get around it. But I think it all stems from your perspective. I'm very, because we had our hoop of steel, our senior send off.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel real to me either. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here looking at all these seniors that I love. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna see him tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
How am I gonna believe this? And Macy,
of course I know Macy. I love Macy.
Macy's the
Shout out to Macy.
Yeah. He said something because the hoop of steel, for people that don't know, is just we have a hoop of steel and we pass it around and everyone says something about the seniors and then the seniors talk and it's really nice. And he was saying just this is his home. I don't want to get too personal about Macy, but the people here literally made this feel like we were saying, his home. And that literally gave me chills. I'm like, this is how much people mean to each other.
Yeah.
This is why I hate the media right now. It's why I hate our country is so divided.
I know.
Because it's just, at the end of the day, we're all people.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Exactly.
We can actually benefit from each other. That's how we got so far. And it's sad to see people divided. But back to the perspective thing, it's just, if we flip our perspective to say, I'm grateful for having you in my life.
Yeah.
And instead of, I'm sad that you're leaving, I think it really changes everything. Because the base, I don't know, it just seems nice.
Yeah. Bro, I know you're TRF, but maybe you should change and become a therapist, because everything you have just told me is what I work out with my psychologist. Really? Yes, no, 100%. This feels like a really great therapy session, and I love it. The
podcast is nice.
It's great.
Everyone always says after, they're like, that was so refreshing. I feel so free. It's it's
great.
I love it. Yeah, it's awesome.
No, but seriously, and I know, kind of going back to when you said recognizing the waves, recognizing the triggers, that's been a really big thing for me personally, because with what I have, my triggers can make me act in ways that are not chill. They're not chill. And it kind of sucks. I'm not ashamed of what, I go through. Let me rephrase that. I'm not embarrassed of it, because I'm sitting here and I'm talking about it. I know we haven't really identified what I've been diagnosed with. It's just I don't really give a shit. I could say it if you want me to.
If you want to, you can. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, but it's I'm not embarrassed about it, because I'm able to openly talk about it, and my mental health has sometimes made me a really bad person. But to say that, I'm not ashamed of it, that I would be lying. There are some things that I am ashamed of that I've done because of it. But, I've been in therapy for a big portion of my life, and I didn't really take it seriously because I didn't really want to admit that I had a problem, right? But then, you know, the beginning of last semester, things like came to I don't even want to say crashing halt, and like train wreck would be an understatement. Like when I tell you the world came crumbling down, like it was really bad. But, you know, that kind of pushed me, and I definitely feel like me taking everything I have seriously now, you know, that being my psychologist, my psychiatrist, like taking things seriously has definitely helped me. I'm not perfect.
No one is.
But, you know, this semester, my journey, per se, has definitely been a roller coaster. Definitely, like, big roller coaster. Last semester I was doing really great. This semester, I feel like I've definitely slipped up a lot, and, like, you know, recognizing my triggers is a big thing. But I read this thing yesterday that I really related to. And I forget where I saw it, probably on, like, Instagram or whatever. But this girl was talking to her brother, and he had battled depression for a majority of his life, and he was telling her that, like, once you get better and become very self-aware, you realize that, like, the lure to go back into your old habits is so tempting, and it's kind of like, because it feels safe. Not that it's a safe thing by any means. The things I did before I was getting treatment were not fucking safe. Yeah. And if any people are listening to this right now who know me, they're probably sitting there laughing. They're like, oh yeah, that bitch was off the shits. And I could say that because I was off the shits. But, you know, it feels, and I still get tempted to kind of fall back into my habits because it feels like a comfort blanket almost. It's familiar. It's like an indulgence, like I don't know, comfort food, like chocolate, right? You're indulging in something that's not good for you. So kind of having to fight those thoughts has been something that I've been like dealing with recently. But, you know, like for me personally with my disorder, I constantly feel like I'm at a battle with myself, which fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but like, yeah. And it sucks because like these conversations that we're having about, you know, everything that we just talked about, I feel like some people think it's like groundbreaking and it's like, oh my God, you're so brave for sharing. Like, no. Like, yes, but like, no. Like, the fact that these conversations are so stigmatized in a way that everyone is like, oh my God. Like, and like, they treat you like you're broken or like you're fragile. Like, that shouldn't be happening. Like, my disorder personally is not one that's really talked about a lot. And, you know, it's kind of hard because like there's no one right treatment for it. Like, I do take medications, but they target symptoms, but I have a personality disorder. So a lot of my thing is therapy because things that I used to behave with, like in the way I act, was so ingrained in me that like I've literally had to relearn my personality is my personality, but like I've had to relearn the way that I act and how I handle myself. So it's been like weird. And I feel like if anyone that is listening can relate to this, like you're not crazy. I mean, I call myself crazy all the fucking time. But like it's not normal, but it is normal because more people are suffering than you think, and it's like, and I hate the word suffering because it's like you're not a victim, like you're a survivor, right? And like you don't need a diagnosed disorder, illness, whatever you want to call it, to struggle. Like, it's part of life. Like, people have bad days and have, you know, rough times. But, like therapy's not something you should be embarrassed about. Like, I'm talking about it right now. Like my doctor, like, she saved my life. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, she 100% saved my life. I really don't know where I would have gone if my roommate did not push me to really be like, you need to actually take this shit seriously right now. So, yeah.
No, I think it is really important to talk about mental health because I think our whole thing is balanced man here, which I always thought was kind of stupid. And I'm like, well, it's kind of true. You need a sound mind and a sound body to be happy. And all these philosophy classes I'm taking too, all these 1,000-year-old thinkers were saying the same shit.
Yeah.
They're like, you need to be fit, like you need to be healthy body, and your mind's just as important. And the fact that it has been so stigmatized and you can't even talk about therapy or how you feel is ridiculous because it is so important. You need your mind. And I had I've been struggling with anxiety and depression my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, over break, my mom and my brother were really yelling at me. They're like, you need to go to a shrink. I'm like,
yeah,
fuck you. And then they got me there, and now I'm on meds, and it's better.
Yeah.
And I thought I was going to lose my creativity
mm-hmm.
or myself, but it just like makes me feel clear. I don't want to say clear, but it just, I don't know, it kind of just makes me feel, it's hard to explain.
It is hard to, I get it, because I get it.
Yeah, but I think people do need to talk about it more because it is very important.
Yeah.
And it really starts with just like conversations. That's why I like this house a lot, because we actually talk about our minds.
Yeah.
And because we care about each other.
Exactly.
Because you can't be happy if your mind's not there.
Exactly.
You need, and the thing is that you were talking about too, like, we have to practice it because we can slip up so easily.
Yeah.
And
it's so tempting. It's so tempting. Like, and I feel like unless you really have like gone through it, like no one really I don't want to say no one understands, but like it's really hard to kind of verbalize it too. And yeah, like because like part of, like I said before, part of my personality disorder is that like the hard thing about it is that like there's not like one pill to treat it, which like I fucking wish there was, let me tell you. But because it's not like, yeah, like my brain's a little, like the wiring's a little fucked up, but it's because of like from like different situations I've experienced throughout my life. And before I saw myself as weak, broken, like, and I'm not doing this for pity, I just want to make that very clear. This is not pity because
I'm just explaining.
And like a lot of times, like I felt that I was so worthless and deserved nothing that my actions against other people were like, well, they must feel this way too if I was treated like this from one person. So like, that's how I'm gonna present myself. And like, no. But I think the biggest thing too, I don't know if you felt this way, because I know you said like your mom and your brother were like yelling at you to get help. That's what my friends were literally doing. They were like, we're gonna drag you, okay? We're gonna drag you if we need to. But like, you know, it's kind of hard at first to admit you need help. Like I remember first going to my doctor's office, my psychologist here, because I see her here. And I felt so claustrophobic in the elevator. Mind you, I'm not a claustrophobic person. But in the elevator, it was like, just like wood. And I was like, oh my God, I feel like the walls are closing in on me. I feel like I'm being suffocated. And, you know, especially with like mental health and stuff like that, graduating, right? Or COVID, or I feel like a lot of people have been suffering from like imposter syndrome recently. That's heightening everything, absolutely everything. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
No, it is difficult because I was reading, what book? It was some book, but it was talking about how that's our ego. Our ego doesn't want us to change because our ego wants to stay in control of us.
Exactly.
And when you threaten it, it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're wrong. And then it puts up the defense mechanisms.
Yeah.
And because you don't want to change, or no one wants to change.
Yeah, or like you're in denial.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's kind of what I was dealing with too. I was like, okay, well, if I can't, I didn't want to feel weak. Because if I can't beat this, I don't want to take a pill to help me. You know, there wasn't pills 1,000 years ago.
Exactly.
Why do I need a fucking little white shit
every single morning?
Every morning or every night to make me feel better. I thought that was just the bitchy, like weakest bitch shit ever. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then, because I'll do anything. I was like, I'll meditate, I'll go religion, I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
And it wasn't working. It actually just made it worse. But it's like cutting the grass. I feel like if you let your mind go, it's gonna go crazy and all the way, and you really have to do it every week, keeping on top of it, which is a lot of work. But it's like working out too.
Yeah.
If you stop working out, you're gonna lose your muscle. It's the same thing for your mind, and there's not enough education on how to have a healthy mind.
There isn't.
I feel like our school systems now are just grind you out and fucking beat you down so you don't question anything and just do your job.
Everyone's so burnt out.
Yeah.
Everyone's so burnt out. So, last semester I actually experienced that, and I was literally going insane because I had my mental breakdown. I started taking, my therapy actually seriously. That's when I first got diagnosed. I mean, I always knew there was some shit wrong with me, let me tell you. But that's when I first got diagnosed. So I was trying to, juggle it, and, medication too. It's not a one-done deal. Sometimes it needs to be tweaked. Sometimes you need to change. So, kind of dealing with that was so hard. But, the support system that I had with my friends was so amazing. Because, my family, I don't want to say I kept them in the dark, but it was just not a conversation I was ready to have with them. But, I'm going to shout out my friends really quick. Taya, Caitlin, my wonderful fucking roommates, Vivian and Mel, Danny, we all know and love Danny, Maya, all of them. They were just, Mackenzie, they were just there to support me no matter what. There was one night where I was I cannot make the meeting that we have on Friday morning. I can't do it. They sent me insomnia cookies with a really nice card, and it's people like that who really make it a difference. We were talking about Macy, this is his home, that's why I felt. And I think it's important that you and I are having this conversation too. I know you've talked about mental health on your podcast too, because I've listened to it before. And I feel a lot of people that speak out, or when people think of mental health, they automatically think of women or those who identify as women or female. But it also affects men too. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be an all-female conversation. Men suffer too, but there's not as much data, or there's not as many men that report, because it's there's still such a stigma, and until we're able to have that conversation, what are you gonna do? And like you said about education, there isn't enough education. I mean, for me, with borderline, it's still not something that's widely talked about. There isn't a lot of data on it, but it's such a I mean, there's obviously levels to any mental illness, but the fact that borderline is it could be so severe, and there's people who have borderline are I don't know how many times more likely, or 10% of people who have borderline, or thought to have borderline, die by suicide. 75% of people who try to commit suicide who have that. Trigger warning, by the way. I do want to do a quick trigger warning, because it's a heavy subject. But so the education needs to be there. It needs to talk about. It needs to be inclusive for all mental illnesses. Not just one or two. People need to talk about these things, because they're not going to get the right help if they don't know what's going on. And besides that, there's not a cohesive sort of plan for mental illnesses. I think that one person's approach to borderline, for example, for me, is different from another. And my diagnosis is misdiagnosed a lot, because some psychologists and psychiatrists don't necessarily quote unquote believe in it, which is so fucking stupid. But yeah, so it's tough. So yeah, definitely just admitting and kind of talking about what I actually have on a podcast is weird. So I try to slip it in instead of being this is it. Yeah. Because it shouldn't be that way. It's not me. I'm not Dina who has this. I'm Dina motherfucking Spadaccini. Yeah, I'm a little fucked up. But it's life, It
is.
So I think that's super important. And imposter syndrome is not helping. I feel maybe for you too, I feel you maybe understand it too. Because LinkedIn, you see all these people, right? Having jobs and internships, and it's maybe if someone's struggling to get one, I've had my offer secured since December, and I'm so incredibly grateful, because I know a lot of people still don't have jobs, but it's you look at these people and you're I'm just as involved. I do so much work. I have a podcast. I'm on Panhandle, right? I do all these things, and it's is it enough? Even for me being graduating senior in a week, is what I've done enough here? Did I do what I was supposed to do, right? So it's having that, you don't even know who you are at some point. So it's that distorted self-image, and it's crazy. I don't know if you can relate to that with your major.
I mean, for that, I feel I used to be like that a lot in high school.
Yeah.
I was very involved, just for escapism reasons.
Yeah, I feel that.
My defense, my mechanism to deal with stuff I don't want to is just do other things.
Just not think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I did a lot, and then I broke down my senior year. I was just a complete mess, and I'm like, this is fucked. Like, I can't keep going on like this. And I was very lucky to be very highly involved with my church, so I had like a good support system there.
Yeah.
And then, like, my dad sent me to a bunch of bettering yourself things for like old people.
Yeah.
Because he went to it.
Yeah.
And so I went and I just saw all these people like struggling at 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old, dealing with shit in their past that they're still caught up on. And all these experiences really showed me that I want to put this well, and it kind of escaped my mind what I want to say. Cheese and crackers. What was I saying? I completely.
You went to the self-help classes. You saw the like people, later in their life dealing with it.
Yeah.
And it was like you kind of looked at it like, what is?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I don't want to say I'm doing this. Like, I need to do something.
Yeah.
What I want to do now for my life is I just want to enjoy it. And I could get caught up in saying, oh, I want to do this podcast to get a job. I want to do this or do this for my resume.
Yeah.
Or make someone else happy. Like, that will never make me happy.
Exactly.
The only thing that can make me happy is doing what I love. And that's this.
Yeah.
And I literally started just like to have fun.
To talk. Literally just to talk.
I like talking
exactly.
to people.
I fucking love talking to people.
It's fun. So I enjoy it. And if I ever stop enjoying it, I will stop.
Exactly.
But it's so easy to get caught up in the system of you have to do this, you need to do this, this is what you have to do. Just because that's the way we were raised. And that's how we were schooled.
Literally.
Yeah. But I saw, like, my dad does a job that he doesn't like. Hi, Dad, for listening. He wanted to be a baseball coach.
Yeah.
At my high school. Like, that's what he wanted to do. But he needed to support his family.
Yeah.
Put us through school, put us through college. So he has a job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would I waste my life, the short time we have here, say 80 years if I'm fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Of doing something that I don't enjoy to be miserable. What is the point of life for that?
Yeah.
Because I struggle with, I need a reason why I'm doing something to do it. Like, that was my big thing in the past.
Yeah.
Like, for math, they give me problems, they're like, just do it. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this? And once you explain it to me, I'll be like, oh, okay, I can do this now.
Okay, great.
Fine. But until then, so I had all these questions, like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? For a living, like life. Because obviously I'm going to live, but I would like to know why I'm here. So what
You want to live, you just don't want to exist. You don't want to go through the motions. You want to actually wake up and have a passion and be happy,
And that's what I've come to, the conclusion. Because we are here for such a short time.
We are.
So we might as well do what we like and enjoy our time.
I feel that.
And we get caught up, or I get caught up in the anxiety from the future or the past.
Yeah.
And if I'm always worried about the future and not living in the present, the now, which is really hard to do.
It is hard. I feel that. I feel that.
But it's just something I have to work on, and but at least I'm acknowledging it.
Of course. That's the first step, and that's the hardest.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, especially like on a podcast, right? Where there's gonna be like listeners, like people like you may not know, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not easy.
Weird.
But it is fucking weird. But and like you talked about, like these people that you maybe went to that class with who were caught up in the past, that was such a big thing for me. There's things that I've done in the past before I was treated that have been attributed to my mental health that I'm not proud of, that have weighed heavy on me. And the biggest thing that I had to do, and arguably the hardest thing I had to do, was learn to let it go. Because my psychologist was like, Dina, you're sitting here crying about it. Like, valid, you can cry, whatever. But that happened X amount of years ago, like, or X amount of months ago. Like, what is you being sad gonna do for you? That's not proactive. You're not doing anything productive. Like, you forgive yourself, or you don't even have to forgive yourself. Let it go, but use it as a way to model yourself. and I use that as a way, like, I don't ever want to be that person that I was because she scared the shit. I mean, it looked like Dina, talked like Dina, but that was not me. Like, well, it was, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And I just use that as a reminder that, like, I don't ever want to be that person. Like, that person scares me. And there's times that I've been close to being that person again. And it is not a good friend. I'm not good to myself. I'm not a good family member. Like, I'm just not good. And whenever I kind of feel that indulgence, right? Feel the wave coming, right? I'm like, all right, let's take a step back. I like journaling. And I just like to scribble out all my thoughts. Because with the anxiety, my thoughts race and race. And a lot of what happens with me personally, because of my disorder or whatever, I think very irrationally. Like, so irrational. So the biggest thing for me is not only getting it out, but separating the facts from, like, mind tricks, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like,
tricks.
So just living in the present has been a really big thing for me too, like you said. So, like, definitely taught myself more how to do that. And I, like, being on this podcast, it's so fucking dope. Like, this is definitely me living in the present. Like, I'm so happy to be here. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here also. You cornered me.
After cornered me. You guys don't understand. 3 times. I remember seeing you at Etiquette. And that's the first time, no, I think it was the second time I said something to you. Because I said hi to Ellie, and I saw you, and I was like, I know you. You do the podcast. And you were like, and I was like, you should let me be on it. And you were like, okay, run along. And I was like, okay, and I went back. Mind you, I wasn't even invited to Etiquette. I showed up, right? Yeah. Me and Taya, we just, like, in love, we just all came from a day drink, but, and then obviously Saturday I was like, you're not leaving.
Thing. But yeah, you're going back to your thing saying, that's my reverse sound.
Yeah, I feel that. No, I feel
that. I think anger is a similar thing. Like that, I don't want to use this example because it's very personal for whatever, but not to me.
Yeah.
It's trigger warning. It's tough. And okay, fuck, I'm saying it, whatever.
All right, you can say it. Listen, I don't judge. I'm not judging the person.
It's not about me.
Okay.
It's someone else. But it's just like I'm a guy. Like, I don't have these problems, so it's hard for me to talk about it. But this girl was raped. Yeah, not great. And she was 60 years old in this class. It's not what happened.
No, I know. I'm just.
But like this, it's still struggling with her, like breaking her down. And the lady who was running the seminar was just like, you have to let go. Like, I know you can't control this. Yeah. And I like to think of it like anger too. Or worrying. Or, yeah.
All of them.
Yeah,
all that shit.
It's like, all that shit. Like, Mark Twain said it really nicely. He said, like, anger is a debt that we don't owe. Whereas, like, worrying is like worrying about a debt that you don't need to pay. You know? Because it is kind of true. It's like all this shit, like stuff in my past, like I can't control it. There's some things in our lives we can't control.
Yes.
So for me to be caught up in something that I can't control is only hurting me.
Exactly.
You know, if I'm still pissed off for whatever, my parents getting divorced or some shit like that, like that's not something I can control. So I can recognize that this shitty stuff happens. I'm no psychologist. I don't know what the best way to do it. But I do know that letting go actually helps a lot.
And there's different ways to let go too. Like, you gotta do, like, one thing that really helped me was that my psychologist, I was actually wondering if that subject was gonna come up in this podcast, and it's really, I had a weird feeling that subject was gonna come up because I'm a survivor myself. And, you know, one of the things that really helped me let go of that's a lot of my anger and my self-hatred came from.
That makes sense.
Where was that, it was my experience with that, right? And, I don't want to get emotional, but I'm also an ugly, I'm savior. I'm an ugly crier, okay? So I don't want to cry on camera because I'm not cute. So, one of the things that really helped me let go was my doctor had me write a letter to my attacker. Obviously, I never sent it to the person.
Yeah.
But I wrote everything that I felt, everything that I was carrying with me. But she also was like, I have a tendency to focus on the negatives because that's where my anxiety comes from. Like, everything is doomed. So a lot of my letter I wrote the positives. Like, ever since that happened, like, I have a full-time job. I've had 2 great internships. I've been involved. I've had leadership positions. Like, everyone who, like, knows me will probably recognize the name Peyton because she's our foster child. Like, I have an amazing foster child that she's 4 and she's the best. I've known her since she was born, but we recently got her. Like, so many great things, like, have happened. Like, and I refuse to let whatever happened to me drag me down. It was very emotional, obviously having to write and then read it, but the release, and I know this doesn't sound stupid as fuck, the release really came from was when I folded the letter and I put it through a shredder. And it just shredded everything, and I was like, that's it. Like, I'm not embarrassed to talk about what I went through. I know a lot of other people have gone through it as well. Obviously I'm not gonna get into specifics, but, you know, having that sort of release, it was more symbolic, but it meant so much to me that, like, I'm able to talk about it now, calm, cool, collected, and, you know, pretty much healed from it. But, like, there was a point where it was, like, ruining my life, you know, just because of everything that I felt, everything that I wasn't able to get over, but I kind of compartmentalized it, per se, and I, you know, didn't want to think about it, and I was like, nah, I'm fine. I wasn't, you know, so definitely doing more symbolic things. I've seen people write on, like, plates and, like, smash it, and I think that's so sick, and I want to do that. There's, like, an anger room, too, here, where you just, like, go and you put on, like a hazmat suit, like, something to protect you, and you just, like, break shit with, like, a sledgehammer.
Do you have that here?
They have axe throwing here in Camillus. Like, that's so fun. Like, I want to do that shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, just having to kind of, and I feel that, you know, and it sucks that that person has held on to it for so many years, but, like,
because it's hard.
No,
like,
it's hard.
Terrible.
It fucking sucks.
Yeah, no,
it sucks.
Like, I'm sitting here. I don't even know what to say because that's just such a shitty thing to have to go through.
It fucking blew. It blew. But, you know, I'm here. I'm a bad bitch. You can't get me.
Yeah. But that's.
I have to do humor, otherwise I don't cope well. So I have to do humor.
Fair. Everyone. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone has different things to cope. You know.
Yeah.
And then one person says, "This is what I do," and they're like, someone's like, "Well, that doesn't work for me." It's like,
okay.
"Oh, you're a different person."
Exactly.
Everyone has different ways.
Yeah.
And, like, you just need to find your way.
Healthy. I want to make it
healthy ways.
Healthy ways.
Because there are very shortcoming ways to get you through things.
And I've done those shortcoming ways, you know, like my sophomore and junior year, like I was absolutely off my rocker, blackout drunk every weekend. People are probably listening to this now being like, Dina, baby, you still get fucked up, which I do. But I have more of a control over it, right? I actually remember my nights. I have a good time when I'm not being messy or, like, emotional all the time, you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, just trying to find, like, healthy balances and healthy coping mechanisms is really, really important. And having a good support system is something I definitely am lucky to have. I don't take that for granted. And yeah, I mean, journaling definitely helps. I have a great family. I have a great support system here, like all my friends. And by the way, everyone who's listening to this, I talked to my friends a lot about this. Not before I was treated, I was really keeping it in, but after, when they were like, you know, what's going on? I was finally ready to talk. They embraced me. And, you know, it was good. It was refreshing, but for me too, it was also kind of like everyone goes through their own shit. Like, you know, people see me like, it's Dina. She's just partying. Look at her. She's so happy, blah, blah, blah. But, like, inside I was screaming for help, but I refused to let myself get that up because I felt like I didn't deserve it. And it's shitty to say, but, like, it was true. But for people listening, tell your friends you love them repeatedly, because my friends have gone above and beyond to help me and keep me safe and protect me and be there and uplift me. And I have been a shitty person, and I'm the first to admit that because of XYZ, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, I love my fucking friends, and I would die for my friends. And they know that too, because I'm ready to die.
Yeah. I mean, so what would you say to people that are keeping it inside? Like how, or someone that doesn't have that support system that you have, you know? Because there are some people out there that really don't, which sucks. But there has to be ways. Because I was very similar in a way, like I just kept everything to myself because I was like, everyone has shit. Why do I don't want to be a burden, right? Exactly. Yeah. I don't want to put my shit on someone else's, then we just have a massive shit pile.
And then it's like one big fucking mess.
Yeah, but that's not a good way to think about it because people are out there to help you. You're never alone.
Yeah.
And there are ways to reach out to people. Like just someone you trust. Like everyone knows someone.
Yeah, exactly. Right? But, you know, for people who either feel like they don't or for reasons that they maybe don't have a great support system, there are like, I know this sounds stupid, but like, there are like websites where you can like get a free consultation and like actually talk to a therapist. NAMI, I don't know if everyone knows what NAMI is. It's the National American Association of Mental Health, whatever. I don't know, the big ass acronym. People know what NAMI is. And they have resources for people who maybe can't afford it or don't know where to start looking. You know, there's a lot of, I don't want to use the word like apps, but there is apps, I forget what the fuck they're called. They come up on my advertisements all the time because they know.
Yeah, they track us.
They track me, but they're like, this is for you, babe. Here, you take that. But there are apps that like, you could talk free with a therapist. You could, you know, journaling apps, monitoring your mood, like kind of like a calendar app. I think journaling is great. And I think for someone who really feels like they don't have a support system, you know, there's self-help books that you could get. Journaling definitely helps because maybe writing down a piece of paper, and it may not be talking to someone like I'm talking to you right now, but you are getting your emotions out there. Like, I don't know, like you could like open up your laptop if you have a camera and like a video ability, you can like record yourself vlogging. You don't have to fucking post it, but there's like video updates of your day, like different things like that. I also think it's important for people who focus on the negatives, right? For anxiety or like depression, whatever you go through. Having a like a camera roll or something to refer back to you that makes you feel happy. Like for me, looking at my pictures and videos of Peyton, like I'll show you my background right now. Okay, why do I have 32 messages? My friends are
so
like
popular.
Nah, my friends are like blowing up my group chat. Like this picture of me holding hands with Peyton when we went for a walk. Like this gives me pure joy. Like, you know, pictures of my friends from like nights or like whatever. Like that gives me pure joy. It's like, you know, the mindfulness mind, for example, like when you feel like you're in these moments, one thing to like escape for like 10 seconds could make the difference. I like going on drives. I like, you know, looking at pictures and videos that make me really happy. And I think for someone who maybe doesn't have a support system, you know, I don't want to say there's always people that are there for you, but like, for example, I know Syracuse, like the therapy sessions here, I personally don't see anyone at SU Health Services for my shit, but they are free. Like you could legitimately go and talk to someone. They are free and they are there to help you. Everyone's different. I know some people who love the people here. For me personally, it didn't work out. But you know, universities have that feature. Your counselors, like even like your fucking advisors, like they're there to help you and they can point you in the right direction. And I think that it's important to maybe like, if you don't know where to look, if you don't know where to start, look up podcasts. Podcasts are great. Look up self-help books. Self-help books are really good and they can give you some more insight to maybe what you've been feeling and how to like help yourself and how to go from there. Looking at different websites for maybe free or discounted resources if you can't afford it. I think those things really need to be advertised more because it fucking sucks. And like, I'm grateful enough where I have had a great support system, but like, there are people that are not like that. I know for me personally too, opening up to my parents, I haven't really opened up to I don't know if my dad knows what's going on. I haven't really opened up to him a lot just because like, it's different. But me and my mom are super, super close. She's like my best friend. And I kept her in the dark for a while because I didn't want her to worry because obviously when you're a parent, not parent, but like when you are a parent, I feel like you hurt 10 times more because that's your child. And, you know, I recently actually had a heart-to-heart with my mom where we were both like hysterically sobbing. And I told her a lot of what I was dealing with. I didn't tell her everything. I did tell her a lot. And it was refreshing, and I know it made her feel better, per se. But, you know, it just sucks. And my point is, like, I come from a very foreign family. And I feel like, I don't know if it's like everyone else can relate to this, but like, when you grow up in a foreign, like, rural area, like, that's where my family's from. They grew up on a farm in Italy, like, very small town. But I feel like, especially in, like, back in the old days, mental health wasn't, like, you're not depressed. What the fuck do you have to be sad for? Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything's handed to you. You have a great life. Like, even me now, like, my family has given me such a great life. I don't take that for granted, but, like, it's kind of hard because it's like, what do you have to be sad about? Yeah. Why are you upset? Why are you anxious? Like, you go to a great university. You have clothes. You have food. Like, you're not growing up the way we did. And, like, yeah, you're right, but, like, it's still there. Like, it's not something I can help. So it's definitely been a journey having to, like, open up to, like, you know, my family. And they've been great. My family has never once put me down or whatever. It's just weird because, like, even talking to my mom about it, my mom was like, I can never open up. I can never do this. Like, my mom had a fucked up childhood. I'm not, out of respect for my mom, I'm not going to go into it, but, like, she had a fucked up childhood. And, you know, she could never open up about the things that she had to go through. And for me having to, like, be able to do that, I don't take that for granted. I mean, sometimes I have, because I haven't thought about it, right? But, like, yeah, it definitely is weird coming from a foreign family just because even when I was young and I was dealing with shit, because, like, I've always had, like, I've gone to therapy for years since I was young. Not diagnosed, of course, but just for whatever. And it was hard because my family was like, I remember my dad, right? I mean, I love my dad. I mean, my dad was super close. He just didn't understand it. I remember him being like, why do you even need to go? Like, what the fuck? And me being like, young, like, Dad, you don't understand. And, like, now he understands a lot more. And that also to do with my family dynamic back in the day. I didn't have a, like, you know what I mean? Like, because he didn't really know. So, yeah. So it's tough. But even for people who don't, like you said, there is one, like, even if you don't feel like it, I can guarantee you there is one person. And you know what? Social media is such a big thing anymore. Like, I see people going viral on TikTok for talking about their things. Like, you can live, like, people you don't know will be there for you too. And that's one of the best things about modern technology is that you can find a video or find a blog or something or a podcast that people that you can relate to, and you can have ways to reach out to them, and that will make the world of a difference. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that was word vomit, but you know what I mean.
It makes sense because you really do need to reach out to people, even if you think there's no one there. You like, how is someone supposed to save you from drowning if you don't put up your hand?
Yeah. No, definitely. Like, I've dealt with that too, right? Yeah. Like, I feel like we talked about this a few minutes ago, like, feeling like a burden, right? Like, I never wanted to talk to anyone about it because I was like, I'm bothering them. I don't know why I feel this way. I don't, like, you know, I deserve to feel this way, which, like, I don't. No one does. But, like, you know what I mean? Just, like, in your mind, you kind of get in that routine. You're not a burden. You're not a burden. And, like, I know people struggle with, you know, feelings of that they would like to leave this earth. I'm trying to say diplomatically for sensitive listeners. And, you know, feeling like there's no other way except that one way. And for anyone who feels like that, I get it. I'm not going to discount that. And for people who have tried or whatever, I get it, because it's hard, because you really don't feel like you have an outlet for XYZ reasons. And, like, you could have a great support system. It's your mind playing tricks on you. And you talked about the healthy mind before, and it's true. If you don't have a healthy mind, nothing you do is going to matter, because at the end of the day, it's going to catch up. Like you said, you had a breakdown senior year, I had a breakdown. Like, it fucking sucks, and you don't think it's going to catch up to you. You can escape in every single way, but it'll come, and it's going to come like a million fucking pieces.
Yeah, and especially if you don't. That's why I like the, even for my clothes, I could use that. Because if you clean your room every day, it's going to be nice.
Yeah, it's great.
But you let it go for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, it's going to take you so much time and effort to clean that room. And it's the same thing with our minds. If we just let it go until we literally break down, it's going to take so much more effort to get back, which is hard. But I had 7 or 8 people, like my friends, take their lives.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but it's just ridiculous to me because it sucks. Because to have someone feel like they're a burden or they have no other way out, it's never the answer. Like, it really never is. Every life, I really believe, is precious.
It is. No, it is.
It is. Like, it's just the fact, now we're going my universe. I think it's just so crazy that we are here, conscious, on this earth.
I think about that too. I'm like, I can talk. I'm more like mammals, but like, I'm like advanced. Like, this is weird.
It is. It is so strange that we are blessed with really consciousness and a body. Like, because if we believe in the energy and stuff, then you don't have a body. Then you're just, I don't know, energy.
Floating. I don't fucking know.
But you can't feel pleasure. You can't touch things, even though we don't touch things, whatever.
I know, it's weird. It's weird
strange.
It's weird shit.
Yeah, but we're not dogs.
Yeah.
Like, we're not cows, ants, insects. We could be nothing. And the fact that we're here right now, I feel like we have to take advantage of the situation. Yeah. Because I know I'm still trying to, because I'm interested in what everything is and like what a person is. Yeah. So I'm still not very sure. Yeah. But I do think everything is made out of the same stuff because
we start and we end. You know what I mean? Like, everything comes from one. No matter what you believe, how the earth came or whatever, like, it's matter. It's all matter.
Exactly.
Like
nothing can be created or destroyed.
Exactly. So, it all transfers.
So
it all transfers. Like,
So. And it's just the way it's organized. I don't know. I do believe in a soul, so I think our souls came in to our atom bodies or whatever, and now we're here. So it's like, fuck, I should enjoy this.
And I feel like people don't realize too, like, I mean, I felt this way a lot. Especially looking at like the LinkedIn, like the imposter syndrome that I talked about before, right? It's like, you know, I feel like people, especially nowadays for how we're schooled, like people like rush for things to happen. Like, they're like, oh my God, I haven't gotten a job yet. Oh my God, I haven't gotten an intern. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. But like when I'm telling you, like, and I know it sounds cliche, but things happen for a reason and they happen when they're meant to happen for you. Like, I was so upset because I didn't get this job offer from Dell. Because I had interviewed like all the way through and I ended up didn't get a job offer. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't get this fucking job offer. It's my dream job. What am I going to do? And I ended up getting this job offer from the offer I have now where I'm going to work. And it was absolutely amazing. I'm so fucking excited. And I was like, you know what? That wasn't meant for me. And the universe or whomever, right, was looking at it saying like, it's not your time. You're not meant to be there. And like, I didn't get my job offer as soon as everyone else in like the same business, corporate America world that maybe other people got, but like, I got it at the time that was meant for me. And like, I think that's really important to think about too, when everyone's having anxiety, like things will fall in place. And if something doesn't happen for you, or if something doesn't work out, instead of looking at it negatively, which you could throw yourself a pity party, valid. But at the end of the day, it's like, look back on it and like, did you really want that? Do you really think it was meant for you? Where do you think you would have ended up having that? Maybe you wouldn't end up in the place you are now.
Yeah, I like that a lot, and I do agree with that 100%. Yeah. Because another thing from my mom says, it's like, if you want to hear a funny story, if you want to laugh, fuck. I always say it too. Well, it's like if you want to laugh, tell God your plans. Yeah. Or it's something like that. Because it's always going to change. Because what you want is not what you need.
Exactly.
And you don't always know what you want because the only way, there's like a cool person who said it, I forgot who said it, but the only way you can understand your life is if you look at it backwards. Yeah, no, because it's true. You don't know where stuff leads.
Yeah, you don't.
You really don't. And even little minuscule things from your past grow and develop into something beautiful in the future. It's like here, I didn't know I didn't know where I was going to go to college. I didn't want to go, like, I loved high school a lot. I didn't want to think about it. Yeah. And then I remember I was in Florida on like a Habitat for Humanity trip. And my mom called me. She's like, did you get the email from Syracuse? I'm like, no, like, I don't want to go to Syracuse. And it was in my junk mail, but that was when I decided, like, fuck, whatever, I'll go to Syracuse. Like, they accepted me. Yeah. And they have a communication school, and Providence didn't. Yeah. I'm like, fine, I'll go there. And now I'm here, and I met, like, the coolest people sitting here with you. Like, I wouldn't have learned how to do any of this without this school.
Exactly.
So even if you think something bad and you didn't want it to happen, you don't know where it's going. Exactly. Same with my face. Like, I broke my face, my cheekbone over winter break.
What?
Yeah, I got elbowed, and I had 3 fractures in my zygomatic arch. And
how hard did that person fucking elbow you?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, we were I turned this way and he went like that. It was an accident.
Oh shit.
But at the time I was like I'm like, why does bad things keep happening to me? Like, this sucks. And
you fall back into that mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I caught myself. I'm like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
Or maybe my dad talked to me. I think my dad talked to me. And I was like, you're right. Like, and then I took those 2 weeks that I had waiting for surgery.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to get the podcast going. Because something I always wanted to do. Yeah. I'm going to do it. So I started looking up stuff, what I needed to do, and I got it all together. And by a month later, I had my first podcast on January 1st.
Here we
are. Here we are. I think you're number 29.
Dope.
Which is kind of ridiculous that I talk with 29 people. But
that's amazing.
It's but yeah.
Yeah, and like you can see how much reach you have, and like you, I think we were talking about before too. It's like so many people want to be on it because it's like such an amazing thing to be able to talk freely to an audience that like wants to listen. It's like open. It's not like your typical like whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's conversation.
Yeah, it's just conversation.
And I don't even think about like the listeners anymore. I just like doing it just to talk with someone.
Yeah.
And this extra shit, like people, do you know Ray? Leavenworth McCauley? British boy?
Yes, oh my god. I forget his name.
Yes.
I'm so sorry if you're watching.
Ray's the man.
He is the man. I talked to him about England once, but I was drunk. So.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
But we were in my room last semester, like everyone's just sitting around, and I was just like talking. They're like, you should start a podcast. I'm like, yeah, maybe. But it does, the imposter syndrome kicks in really hard.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm not nothing.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I'm not smart. Like, I just read stuff and listen to a lot.
And talk.
And then I just remember it, and then I could talk.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just weird, because I'm like, well, other people can just do this. You know, like, I'm not anything special. It's just weird. I don't know. It's something I have to work on, because now people just come up to me and like, yeah. But they just, it's just weird, because they're like, oh, you're the podcast kid. I'm like, there's more to me.
Well, yeah, because I remember when I said that to you, the third time I cornered you.
Yeah.
For the record, you were like, do you even know who I am? I was like, yes, you're James. I know you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. I was like, you want to come up to me? I mean.
No, people do. And it's actually, I don't want to say
weird.
It's kind of annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you don't know me.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know me at all.
Like, this also isn't a joke. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
No, because I know you. Yeah. I'm not saying, it's just like, it's weird. I can see, like, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere in the future. I don't know what I want to do. I really just want to enjoy my life, but I'm going to see, because my mom, I have rules that I'm coming back to home that I have to do. So that I have to live by, so I have to get a phone call for that, which sounds fun.
Good fucking luck.
I know, which is, because I just want to fuck around.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I want to do. Like, I like having fun.
Yeah.
And I like enjoying life, and I can't see myself sitting behind a desk for my entire life. And which is not very, it's I'd say an unbeaten path. Not many people try to go this way. So when I tell family, like, hey, I just want to like have fun.
Yeah.
They're like, well, maybe you should get an internship or a job. I'm like, I don't want to work for someone to tell me what to do.
Yeah, literally.
I want to do my own thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess it will work out eventually.
Everything, like I said before, everything that's meant to happen will happen, and especially for you too. Like, you are smart. Like, you're like, I'm not smart. Like, no. Let me tell you something. If you asked me to set this shit up, I'd be like, listen, I'm going to break every single part of equipment because I don't know I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I could never host a podcast because I just don't have the talent for it. You know what I mean? It's not me, it's you, you know?
Fair. That's what I like also. That's why I like sitting down with different people.
Yeah.
Because everyone does have that something.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's good at something.
Yeah. You're good at this.
I like talking. I remember it was in high school. I was going up to give a speech. I'm like, I wish I could just have a job where I just talked.
Right.
Because nothing else really suited me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny, like 3 years later, I'm doing this.
Exactly.
Which is cool. But I do like how everyone has that special thing. Because everyone has something.
Yeah.
Everyone does. And you just got to find it. And some people never do because they don't try new things.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're never going to find what you're looking for if you don't look. Yeah.
Yeah. Not even that you don't, if you don't open your eyes, if you're not, and anxiety and fear can really get in the way of obviously trying new things.
Yeah.
But you gotta take that, what's the worst that could happen? Someone says no, you don't get the job, at least you tried, at least you got the practice under your belt, you know what I mean?
No,
so,
that reminded me of this weekend.
Oh.
I went to ice cream.
Okay.
And then there was this girl flirting with me behind the counter.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not very good at
flirting?
No.
Oh.
I'm very shy.
You don't seem shy. Well, okay, I'm also very outspoken and I'm very friendly, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do one-on-one talking.
Yeah.
But I'm very introverted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like parties.
Okay.
I like
this. You like this.
I like this. But I'm like, okay. I didn't know what to say, so I just walked out. But I was with, Ellie and Brady and those girls.
I fucking love Ellie and Brady, yes.
Yeah, they're awesome. And they're like, dude, she was flirting with you. You should go get her number. I was like, I don't want to. And then they pressured me into it.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck.
Did you get her number?
Yeah. So I was very nervous. I was shaking. I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, can I have your number? And then I got it. And then I found out she was in high school. And I'm like, ugh.
That's tough.
So I stopped talking to her.
Oh, 100%. You don't want that case.
I was like, oh, Jesus. But you're right. It was the good practice.
Right.
Because now maybe in the future I won't be as nervous or a little less nervous.
Yeah.
Because the nerves come... Nervousness and excitement is the same feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And...
It's different reactions.
Yeah. It's just a different way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, things do take practice. I just thought that story was fucking...
Yeah, it is.
It's ridiculous.
For the next 7 days while I'm here, I will take it on. I will be your wing woman.
Oh, thank you.
I will do
kind.
that. I
So
will.
kind.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, it's that's another weird thing. My brother found his girlfriend now of 5 years.
Oh shit.
His sophomore year of college. I'm like, hey, I'm a sophomore. Nothing's happening here.
Oh god, dating in college.
I don't get it.
10 out of 10, don't recommend.
Yeah.
No, listen, I'm not anti-man, but we don't tell people that I'm kind of anti-man. But not that I'm anti-man, but you just don't know a lot of people's intentions. And that's on both ends. Some bitches are fucking crazy, right? Some guys are fucking manipulative. And I've gotten burned with different flings and different things that whatever. And that's a lot of where my also commitment issues come in. I have some commitment issues where I don't trust men for good reason.
Makes sense.
If you're a man, you're trash. Sorry, James.
Thanks.
You're not trash though. You're the only exception.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So there's that, but it's also for me personally, with I don't know how many people know about borderline. I don't even know if you know about borderline or whatever.
I do not.
Cool. So one of the biggest things with them, I talked about I think in the beginning, it's abandonment issues, and you get into a very black and white way of seeing things. That's one thing I've really had to rewire my brain to do, where it's basically I love you, don't leave me, and it's over flooding with love and affection and this and that, and your brain is rose-colored goggles, honeymoon, but to an extent where it's back up, babe. But then one thing goes wrong and it's fuck you, I hate you, leave me alone, get out of my life forever. And so it's very that black and white thinking. It could be the most tiniest thing ever, and it'll set a person off. And I've definitely experienced that before, where I'm obviously a little bit maybe too in over my head. And then I get a little upset, like, ooh. And then I'm like, actually, no, you can go fuck yourself and never talk to him again. That was obviously before, the treatment and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, so it's definitely really hard. And that's a lot of the times, like, because sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I want a boyfriend. And then I'm like, I don't want a boyfriend. Because, like, why do I want that? But, it's also hard because, like, I'm not necessarily looking. Because I feel like the best things come in life when you're not looking. I also sometimes am afraid of those issues that will come up. So I've really kind of like closed myself off. So that's also something that I want to work on. Not only just like, relationships, like intimate relationships, just like also like friendships and whatnot. Like, working on letting my guard down and trusting myself enough to be like, you know what? You are in control of yourself. You got this. And I feel like that's anything in life. You can apply that to,
Yeah. No, it is difficult for the intentions, because that's something that I think is going to change soon with all this AI shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you heard about the Neuralink that Elon Musk wants to plant in our brains.
Oh, yeah.
But his end goal is so you could communicate telepathically, and then you would know the intention.
Exactly.
Which is weird as fuck. I don't know.
I wouldn't even know if I really want someone reading my mind.
Exactly.
Sometimes I'm really mean to the things I say in my mind.
Yeah.
I can't really say it out loud, so.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. But that's why I really I feel like communication is the best course of action in a lot of situations.
It is.
And when I say I mean honest communication.
Dead ass.
Not like bullshit, because sometimes it is hard to say something to someone, but it needs to be said so everyone can be on the same page.
Exactly.
Because I do think if I was in your shoes or you're in my shoes and you had all my experiences or I had all your experiences, up to that very moment, I would make the same decisions you make.
Yeah.
So if I can understand where you're coming from or understand how you acted and why you acted that way, I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
We're on
sense.
understanding. It doesn't make it necessarily okay.
Yeah.
But at least that there is some shared perspective so that we understand each other, so going forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like a,
No, that does, because it doesn't make it okay.
Yeah.
But just the fact that I get where you're coming from, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It adds another form of sympathy or empathy. I don't really get the difference.
When you're empathetic, it means that you understand how a person's feeling because you've gone through it, or in similar situations. Sympathetic is you are you're being sympathetic. That's not the definition. You're being sympathetic, you're trying to be there for that person's feelings, but recognize that you haven't been in the same shoes.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
Okay, cool.
Yes. So I guess then sympathetic to their situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not everyone is very reliable in
not
communication.
At all. Not at all.
Some people are very bad at it.
Yeah, see, I hate when people are like, I'm bad at communicating. Okay, hold on, pause. Why are you bad at it? Or you have anxiety? Have you had a past experience where you've been honest with someone and it's gone haywire? What is it about communication that you are so bad at? Because help me understand so I can get on that same level. And it's if you're just having a really busy time right now in your life and that's why you're, I don't know, not on your phone, which I think is another stupid thing about relationships. I could just help understand it, that honesty, that whatever. I just need to know, because you being I'm bad at communication, then I'm all right, then I'm going to be bad at communication too and ghost your ass, fuck you. So, that's me being a little hasty, whatever. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is, how do you get people to, because it is hard to say your mind to someone that might not like what you have to say, or it's scary also.
That's scary, it's scary.
Because you don't, I don't want to feel a feeling of rejection. No one wants to feel rejected by something. So it is strange to put yourself out in a situation, but I guess it does come with practice also.
It does come with practice. I think for me personally too, I'm sure you can also tell.
Yeah.
I'm very outspoken and I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm very much what you see is what you get. I'm sure people who know me can definitely be you, what you see in whatever, the basement, whatever, that's the Dina you're gonna get, because that's me. I'm not, other people are definitely weird, not, people sometimes find it a little weird that I'm so out there when you first meet me, but it's not because like, I mean, sometimes I'm overcompensating because I get a little bit of social anxiety, but like, and other times it's kind of like, that's just me. I've always been loud. I never really had trouble making friends because I could literally talk to a brick wall and be like, no, that's my friend.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just very much outspoken. Like, what you see is kind of what you get. And like, I'm very one of my friends told me this about myself, and I've loved it ever since. She said, and I didn't realize that, but I'm gonna toot my own horn for a little bit. She said that I'm very unapologetically myself, and that was one of my greatest qualities. And I was like, and I love that. So for me, like, I'm very outspoken. So like, I'm gonna say what I have to say. My delivery is definitely rough sometimes. I'll be the first to admit I sometimes don't have the best delivery. My intentions are not always bad. I'm very much like, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Because in the long run, if I tell you what you want to hear, what's that going to give you? Nothing. False hope? False whatever? No. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. It may not be what you like, but in the end, it's going to be what's best for you. And actually, it may not be what's best for you. It may just be my opinion, and I'll be the first one to admit that, like, listen, this is just my opinion. I'm telling you this because of what you're giving me. At the end of the day, and I've always told my friends this too, you're going to do what you feel is right, and I'll be there to support you. I may not agree with it because I have an outside view. You may also ruin your life, but I will be there every step of the way. And I always ask too, which is a new thing with me, someone's like venting to me, especially if it's like a sticky situation, I'm like, all right, do you want advice right now? Like, do you want me to give you my opinion, or like maybe advice on how I would approach you, or how maybe you can go about this, or do you just want me to listen? Because I feel like sometimes too things get lost in translation, where like if you just jump to advice, people get like really defensive or upset because it's not what they want to hear either.
Yeah, no,
like sometimes you gotta be like really careful. So I'm like, do you want me to just listen? And they're like, yeah. All right, cool. And then I shut the fuck up for 5 seconds.
That is nice. I like that way because I struggle with that too.
Yeah.
Because my dad is very like that also.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got him and my mom and my brother in a lot of fights. Like, they were venting to me.
Yeah.
Or just like complaining about something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, that's not, maybe we shouldn't look. And then it snapped on me. I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm
what did I
just trying to
say?
help. I'm giving my opinion.
Yeah.
And then they're like, just fucking listen. I'm like, hi, just trying to help. But whatever. Yeah, I like that. It's asking, do you want advice or do you just want... Because sometimes people just need an ear.
Exactly. Shoulder to cry on an ear or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, damn. I'm going to use that in the future.
No, yeah, definitely. Everyone who's listening, like, you can use that too. I actually, like, I saw that, like online somewhere. I think it was, like, I don't know, on Twitter or some shit. Someone, like, tweeted it, and I was like, huh, that could have really saved me a lot of grief. So.
Yeah, but people are definitely are jealous of your unapologeticness of yourself, or being yourself. I think I butchered how I said that. Because,
no, I get it.
Yeah, because a lot of people wear masks. Yeah. Like, they're not who they really are. Yeah. And it's because they want, a lot of cases, they want people to like them. Mm-hmm. And they think, if I act like this, if I portray myself in this way, more people will like me. Yeah. Which is sad, but a lot of people do it. And that's, I don't know if you ever went to like search retreats with your church. Mm-mm. Okay.
No, my church is foreign as fuck.
Okay.
So they don't really do that stuff.
Fair.
Like, it's all in Italian, mass is entirely Italian.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's
cool.
cool.
You speak Italian?
I could get by.
Damn. Yeah. That's lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like learning, like knowing 2 languages is very cool.
It's really good for when you want to like talk about somebody.
Yeah, you just go in a different language.
Yeah. Someone
was here the other day talking in Russian.
Who? I would love to hear Russian.
It was very cool. I literally double took. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm like, is what? And they're like, don't worry. I'm in a Russian accent. Like, I speak English too. I'm like, okay. Like, where are you from? Like, Russia. I'm like, oh.
No, I don't give a fuck about the English. I want to hear your Russian.
Yeah, it was
like,
really
that's
cool.
dumb.
That's what I like too. This world, I don't wish for anything. Mm. But okay, it's how I say it.
Yeah.
I would like, maybe it's not what we need, but I saw somewhere too. It's like, don't hope for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not wishing for anything. Yeah. I don't know what I need, but I would like the world to be connected. Yeah. Different cultures. we can learn so much from each other. And it's so cool. Like, everyone's just a person just from a different area of land.
Yeah, literally.
Which I think is funny. And I'm taking this anthropology or biology class. And it's just about how we got to where we are as humans. Yeah. And all humans, except for some Africa, like everyone that came from not Africa is derived from 600 people.
Yeah. Which is like,
what
the fuck are the odds of that?
We have less genetic diversity than chimps.
Literally.
Which is crazy. We're all the same. And like skin color or culture really is just from pigmentations of melatonin, of how much vitamin D you get.
No, literally.
Which is ridiculous. But
it's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing how similar we are, but there's so many differences between us. Or that we claim are between us. Yeah. But there's really not. And I don't know how to get there. Like John, who's the Beatle?
John Legend. No, Lennon.
Because I say legend too. I'm like, is it Lennon or legend?
It's John Legend. Yeah, John Legend's a difference. Yeah.
But imagine, like, that song is so nice. Just, there are people out there that think this way, but I don't know how to get there. Because
I don't think enough people think this way.
Yeah.
And there's a variety of reasons, you know. Whatever politically is happening, cultures, like whatever you're ingrained to kind of have, like, I hope for humanity's sake that we get to a place where things are a lot better, but it's going to take a lot of work from everyone around the world. You know what I mean?
Like the picture of all the people around the globe and they just hold hands.
Yes, the one on Google. Yeah. Everyone, like every single elementary school teacher has that printed out.
Yes.
I remember that picture.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad you got that reference.
I can see it in my head right now. So yeah, no, definitely. Maybe one day we'll stand on the ends of the globe and hold hands. And all hold hands. That would be great. That would be amazing.
Yeah, it is. I think what could do it is if another, like, aliens come.
Do you believe in aliens? My answer first.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay. I love this stuff. I'm like this is my shit. I love it.
Bro, UFOs, they've been here.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Aliens, they've been around here.
They're here.
Like, they're fucking around. Like, I don't know, they probably are, whatever, around Syracuse, but they probably don't want to come to Syracuse because they're scared. Which I understand. Because Syracuse University, the students, we can be wild.
Yeah.
But
they're here.
They're here. They're around. But yeah, I definitely believe in, I don't even want to say like aliens, but like definitely different forms of life because like to put into perspective, like we are one planet in one solar system, in one galaxy, in one whatever Milky Way shit. Maybe I said that wrong. And then there's other galaxies that are in different time dynamics.
Yeah.
They could be more advanced. Like, that's kind of lit. They definitely fucking are. Because look at we.
Young.
No, literally. Cause
yeah. We're stupid.
We're stupid as
really
fuck.
Stupid.
We're stupid as fuck.
We're monkeys that fight over stupid shit and still care about money so much.
Yeah.
What do they care?
What are they carrying?
I don't know. Maybe hopefully new furniture.
No, I think that's the hacky sack thing.
Oh, they're playing.
Yeah.
That's yeah, no, but I've been seeing all these, like, I love Joe Rogan. I don't know if you know him, but he's big into this stuff, and he brought on like, this guy that worked in the government for a while.
That guy better be careful what he says.
Yeah, exactly. He knew all this stuff about this, and he knew what was classified and what wasn't.
Yeah.
But pretty much they have footage and of all these unidentified flying objects and life forms.
Bro, they know. They're just hiding it. They know, and like other people have seen it. Like just just tell us. Like it's fine.
I think the reason they're not is because they don't want our enemy countries knowing what technologies we have.
True. Well, I just hope we're on good terms with the aliens. Like that's all I want.
I hope I think they could have killed us because they turn on they fly over nuclear sites all the time and they just flip them on.
Oh.
And then they just turn them off.
Oh, dope.
So they're just pretty much trying to tell us like, hey, stupid heads, like you're gonna
hide this shit, bro.
Or like because we can blow ourselves up.
Oh yeah.
Very easily, and they're probably like, if they were able to get here,
they could also blow us up easily too. Like hello.
Exactly. But I think they're just hiding underwater.
You think? You think it's underwater?
All these sightings. There's literally just one released off the coast of like I think it was Chicago, and there's one in Hawaii. They're all over the place, but people see these ships and they just go in the water.
Damn.
So if I was hiding, if I'm putting myself in this alien's mind and I wanted to hide from humanity, would I go in the sky where everyone can see me, or in the ocean?
Underwater, because the ocean.
No one discovers it.
Bro, there's some crazy ass shit in the ocean, and you can't even tell me otherwise.
No.
I'm not like scared of the ocean, but like I think there's shit. Do you think that mermaids are real?
I don't know. I heard a cool theory. This sounds. People are like, what the fuck?
People are probably gonna be like, these people are
real?
fucking cracked out right now, which rightfully so.
Yeah,
but
fair. I wouldn't be surprised though.
This is interesting.
Yeah, if humans were on like a small island, like I wouldn't be surprised, like millions of years ago, if they evolved to have some sort of like tail.
I think it's definitely possible because, like you said, evolution. Like, not everyone is like yeah, we're able to walk, but like, okay, we also started off as in the land, ocean, back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably. I don't know about mermaids, but I definitely believe in aliens.
Have you heard the reptile people theory?
What is that?
Like, apparently people in the government are like actually like not real people. They're like reptile people, like lizard. It is so motherfucking weird, but it's so interesting. Cause I'm like, damn. Yeah. Like, what if this was real? What if they are actually reptile people in like human skin suits? Like, or what if these people are just fucking crazy that made this up? Like, that's
could be also.
You should look up the reptile people theory. Yeah. I think you'd like that.
I've heard some about it because my friend from high school, her dad is like on CNN, and
that's sick.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy, and she was like, yeah, there's a theory that he's a reptile. I'm like, yeah, I don't think he is.
Like, I know him, but
there's some. I love conspiracy theories.
Me too.
Because they're just fun.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if I definitely don't believe them all, but like, they're fun.
They're fun.
I enjoy them.
Like some of them are so outrageous, but I'm like, this was a fun read. This was a good laugh. Yeah. Some of them I'm like, wait,
there's some things.
Sense.
All this stuff, like going back, we talked about there's a kernel of truth. Like I think it was way in the beginning, but for the ghosts.
Oh yes.
There's like a kernel of truth to things. And all these UFO things were conspiracy theories. But like, now there's really CIA documents, NASA documents being released saying, yeah, there are these things.
And there's different,
we're not.
What's the word I'm looking for? Time, space dynamics.
Yeah.
Like, you can, like, astral plane, apparently.
Oh,
and I've never done that, but I really want to try it because there's literally CIA documents released that like, nah, like you can like do
remote
that.
View.
Yeah, like you could literally do that. I'm like, alright.
That's the whole thing.
Where am I gonna fly to? Let's chill.
Where can you go? Your consciousness can go anywhere.
I know. That's scary. It's fun, but it's also like, wow.
Oh, weird.
Like we really don't know what we are capable of and like what actually like all the secrets that should be unlocked. I mean, they know, the government knows, but they're not gonna tell us.
They do. They've really been doing these tests. Like they were trying to make mind soldiers back in.
Heard about that.
Yeah.
Heard about that.
Yeah, but they used them to find like terrorists and hostages.
Yeah.
Like the government always has the technology before the public does.
Oh, 100%.
But that whole thing about the astro projection or the remote viewing, that's how I watched this movie, or not even this documentary. It's called Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, where it was these scientists, people were contacting aliens, and they literally have footage of them coming down and just like chilling. It's actually a crazy documentary.
I want to connect with that. They seem cool.
Yeah, you have to like meditate and have a good mind, like good intentions.
I have great intentions, but I'm too antsy to meditate. I can't do that.
Fair. Yeah, it is a lot, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
For aliens, because you know the stereotypical gray alien with the big eyes.
Yeah, that's not a thing. Like
no, it could be.
It could be people like there's like gray people, I think, but then there's also like so many other types of like aliens or like life forms.
Yeah, there's different kinds. Yeah. I agree, but this kind like is okay. There's a bunch. There's another because these grays, like the grays.
Yeah.
They're just short little people, and
it's so cute.
But it makes evolutionary sense because I don't know if they could be humans from the future, which sounds crazy because if we go in a path where we can communicate telepathically, which they do, like our mouths would shrink because we're not using them. Our heads would get bigger, our eyes would get bigger to perceive more, and we'd get weaker because we wouldn't rely on our bodies. So that's literally what they are. And I'm like, fuck.
Wait, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That's really scary to think about.
It's really weird.
It's really scary to think about.
So that's just one thing, but there's also another type, because there's also different ships. They're all not just like the saucers.
Yeah.
And there's a cool article I read about, what was it called? It was in Kentucky, and it was these weird motherfuckers. Oh. They had like big heads, long talon arms. Yeah, it's
scary.
Weird, but I
just want to talk to the gray people. I don't want to talk to them.
Great people.
I just want to
talk to them. But there's so much we don't know.
Yeah.
And I think it's very silly of us as people now to think we're the smartest people that have ever been here.
Oh, please.
Because I think
it's our God complex. All humans have a God complex. For no reason.
What's up with that?
I have no fucking idea.
Why do we all think we're just the center of the world?
It's also just ignorant, too. Like, there's billions of galaxies, billions of solar systems, and you think, Miss Karen, that we're the only people we're just the only people floating in this big ass space that's nothingness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of silly.
Yeah, I think it's so dumb, but I love that shit. Supernatural stuff is so crazy to me.
It is. I don't get it though. Like, I don't
think we're ever gonna get it until either we pass on, or unless aliens decide to actually land one day and be like, yo, we're real. Surprise.
Yeah. There's that guy in Israel. He was like the defense. I don't know.
Probably from the military.
Yeah, but he was saying that he's retired now. He was saying aliens have made contact. They're working with the U.S. Trump knows about it when he was president, and they're trying to figure out the meaning of the universe.
So are we.
Yeah,
that's why,
right?
That's why you have the podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, no one knows. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah. No.
But what do you think are like we live on after we die?
That's a loaded question. So yeah. I am obviously, everyone knows too that I'm raised Roman Catholic, very religious family. So we do believe heaven, hell, purgatory, blah, blah, all that nice, fun, great stuff. I would like to think that there is a nice, fun place that I would be lucky enough to go to and chill and be happy. But I don't think that we actually know until it happens. I mean, I know people have near-death experiences where they've actually died. They're like, I saw this, or I saw nothing. Or there's this weird theory, I don't know if you've seen it. They're in this weird-ass room. It's like a beige room, and it's nothing, and it's so fucking creepy. And I'm like, that's not for me. I'm gonna choose to ignore that.
That seems weird.
It's weird as fuck. It was really scary, because it was weird. I think there's just obviously there's other religions too. There's some religions that don't believe in heaven, hell, that you just die. And you die. Like your energy, whatever. Some people believe in reincarnation or I don't really know. I know there's been accounts of reincarnation, which is mad freaky.
What was that?
There was this one that I know of this little kid, and he was saying I'm not, let's name him Tom, I don't know what the fuck his name is. I'm Tom.
I love Tom.
And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm this person. It was his great, this person from the early 1900s. And he was saying things, and this kid was 6, okay? Yeah. He wasn't 17 where he could be making this shit up. He was saying things that it was impossible for him to know. His parents had to go and research the things he was saying to see if they were true. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe when you die and your soul goes to whether it's heaven, hell, whatever place, when your soul is done having its time on earth, or maybe the energy that you have is not done and it needs to fulfill a bigger purpose, and that's why there's these accounts of reincarnation or XYZ. I think on a religious aspect, I'm probably going to say I do believe in heaven, hell, whatever. But I don't know, it's weird. I get this weird split feeling of the Adam and Eve theory versus evolution. I think that, the Big Bang, I think that's real. whatever. I think there are some things that account for me personally that I think have religious significance, but I do think that, like, I gotta be honest with you, I don't think humans just randomly were zapped on Earth and they were like, I'm here. Yeah. Like, I do think there's evolution in some aspect, but I also think that, like, Adam and Eve, like, could have been real people because of evolution. Yeah. I don't know. It's so fucking weird, and it's like, I don't know. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer either, you know? I guess we'll just find out. I know, you're getting a lot of emails today. I know. Pretty popular.
Yeah. These spam emails love me. Yeah, I don't know, because I like to think of, I'm religious also, so I like to, I don't take everything in the Bible literally. The way I look at it is like
I agree.
A children's book. So because I like to think, I listened to this cool book, hi Eitan, this cool book, it was called A Father That Keeps His Promises. And it was about the Old Testament, but in a way, it was a guy telling the story of the Old Testament in chronological order. And like, because it's like a family tree to Jesus.
Yeah.
And so it was explaining it. But he pointed out, Scott, I think is the author. He's like, you gotta think, this book was written not for us now, but for people thousands of years ago.
Exactly.
So we have to look at it from their perspective, their culture, how they're seeing it, what each thing actually represents and what it means. And I never lived during that time, I don't think. Maybe I did.
Maybe, we don't know. I guess we'll find out when we die or something. I don't know if we get like a replay, but...
Yeah, but I think things do have significance, and the Adam and Eve thing is interesting too, because I wouldn't be surprised if, like, we're doing it right now. You can't see my mind, so you don't know what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking is we just put eggs and sperm on the moon as like a backup defense if we die. Then they go poop, and then humans are back.
Then we hope that.
Yeah, but if I was an alien species and my species was dying, and I wanted to make sure we live on, like I'd send it to a habitable place, and it would be released, whatever it is, and then it would grow. That's not a crazy theory.
No, it's not.
Like we're doing it. So it's like I wouldn't be surprised if we just got plopped here as. Because no one knows how the first...
Test subjects. Yeah. I've also heard that theory. That we are literally just all test subjects from aliens.
Yeah.
I mean, the test probably isn't going that well.
Yeah, no.
I don't really know what's going on, but yeah. I heard that theory.
That's why they're like...
Coming and visiting.
That's another thing. It's like, why would these advanced species come and look at us like, well,
we're all fucking
for
idiots.
Research. Yeah.
Like, research on what? We're idiots. Yeah. Like, I'm sure you have enough research on that. So, I heard that theory too. We're all, like, test subjects.
Yeah. Like, that's really... It's not that shocked. Like, I could see that being a thing.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But we just don't know.
No, we don't.
Which kind of annoys me, because I do like,
I know.
Yeah.
Damn.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Hopefully not soon. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah.
But one day, long in the future.
Yeah, it will come though.
But we gotta save this planet first.
I agree.
Gotta save this planet. Otherwise we're not gonna know shit. And like it's all gonna be for nothing because we're all just gonna fucking die and perish because everyone wants to be idiots.
Yeah, we are pretty dumb. We're
so
killing the planet.
That's why test subjects. We're not the greatest test subjects. So.
No, we're pretty failing. That's why.
Yes, lawn presence.
Lawn presence is active. Yeah, we can wrap this up soon because that's gonna be annoying. Yeah, they're bumping.
Yeah.
But that's why I also wonder too, for animals, because we are just animals. Like I feel kind of scummy. We kind of just took over this earth.
Sometimes I think about that, and I'm like, how? I don't understand. Like, I'm walking, living, talking. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it at all.
I mean, I'm glad to be human and not like a bee or some shit. But like, yeah, like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Some days I feel like it would be easier just being a little dog though. Just getting my belly rubbed.
Oh, 100%.
Chilling in the sun.
I would love to be a dog. Love to be a dog.
Yeah, but we got our higher pleasures of learning
True.
and music. That my philosophy teacher said that, and I was like, that is true. Like a dog, how much can it actually like experience?
Yeah.
Because we're humans, we could think we have.
It's Spotify.
Yeah, we have higher pleasures.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, I think this was a lot of fun.
This
I
was.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah,
I'm
it was a
sorry
good time.
for harassing
It's
you
okay.
to be on. I had such a great time, and I'm really happy that I was able to be here and talk because we think we talked about a lot of cool, great things.
I agree.
I'm so happy.
I'm glad that you came up. It was
meant to be.
Happened.
It was
happened
meant
when
to
it was
be.
supposed to happen.
Exactly. And that's a wrap.
And that's a wrap. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.